Hello my lovely, and welcome back to my channel to the unboxing of the ArtSnacks InkTober box, which I received at the beginning of September, on the 6th of September actually. And I know I may sound like a broken record, but I just couldn't get up the video and all the editing up to now because I cannot sit down for long. So let's get right into it. And here we have the box, which is quite chunky. It's around 8 centimeters high, nearly 24 centimeters deep, and 32 centimeters wide. ArtSnacks has made a special sticker for the InkTober collection 2020 edition. And to me, the box looks very nice from the outside. It's not that heavy, but it's my first ArtSnacks box, so I can't really say. And it will be my first time partaking in Inktober. So let's see what's inside. Oh, okay. Share your unboxing with us at ArtSnacks. Hashtag ArtSnacks. I can see some snacks. It's a bubble wrap pouch, which I quite like. I'll get to that later. And here's the pencil case. I was expecting a pencil case actually, but this seems very small, even though I guess I could fit it into my handbag, and it would be something to take on the go if you're just traveling light, I would say. And the make is very good. It's well done, and red on the inside, which is lovely. The black and red does speak to me. The zips are very good, with the sturdy grips, and the stitching, it has been done very well, I would say. And here is the logo with the trademark on it. If you are into Inktober, you will know all about the controversy surrounding that. And yeah, so I'm okay with it, even though I would have preferred a larger pouch, but you get what you get. So it's cat in the bag, isn't it? But this is a good thing for me, at least, since I'm into watercolor. This is a watercolor block, and it's 100% cotton, and the company is Legion paper, and the sketch or the block is called Lenox cotton paper pad, and the size is 5 by 7 inches. It's quite smooth, which is good for inking, I'm guessing, since you are working with sharp instruments and not necessarily brushes. Yeah, so that's good, and it's a nice size that I can use for something small, which you on a daily basis is good if you work in a small format, isn't it? The cover is very smooth. It's some kind of coating on the paper. And here we have the Plumchester sketchbook. On the menu it says Plumchester. It's a square sketchbook, which is really great. And I presume that at the bottom there is the logo from Jake Parker, so it must be his artwork. It says vegan leather. That means it's plastic, isn't it? Sorry about that. The measurements are 7.87 by 7.87, of course. So let's see what it's like inside and reveal the artwork in full. Okay, it doesn't really smell of plastic. The elastic is quite loose, I would say. If you just ink up, I would say it's a bit loose, but it's nice and sturdy nevertheless. Anyway, let's look inside. And yeah, it's white paper. Oh, first of all, let's take in the artwork. It's a good drawing. Yeah, it's good. Even though I'm not into fantasy that much, it does spark the imagination. And the paper is very smooth. It's quite white. It's almost bluish. And as a sketchbook, I quite like the appearance of it. And I will test out some of the media later in the book itself. Yeah, it lays flat, so that's good. And a bookmark, which is also very nice to have. And I like the yellow. Plus 48 pages. You can use the pages one-sided and you'll still have more than enough for 31 days. Okay, let's move on. So here we have the snack, an Airheads very squished up cherry flavored sweet. And now for the ink. Liquitex Professional Acrylic Ink in Carbon Black. I really look forward to trying this out. I've not had any Liquitex product actually. It says on the menu, made from 100% carbon black pigment, this Liquitex Professional Acrylic Ink is extremely fluid and waterproof. It dries quickly with a satin finish, so layering is effortless. No dyes or fading here. High light fastness and permanence means your illustration will last a lifetime. I can't wait. And here on the bottle it says semi-opaque and light fastness excellent. And the next item out of the bag is a card saying InkTober collection, and on the reverse side it has the password for the course that you can take with Jake Parker worth $30. I haven't taken it yet, so I have no idea what it's worth in my view, but of course I'm not going to share the code with you here. I hope you understand. The next item is a Uni-Posca extra fine paint marker in white, which is something you can always use. I have one of these already, but it's good to have a spare. I have Posca pens in many colors, and I usually use it with my jelly printing or anything where I use acrylics. Sorry about that noise. You can use it for highlights even in watercolors, and it really works well. The acrylic ink is water-based, and that's pretty good in my view. And next is the Copic Gaze Fude brush pen. I have a very similar one to this as well, but my other one is from Pentel. However, it's a very nice looking pen with gold glitter inside, and I'm just realizing that the pen is out of focus the whole time, so sorry about that. So here I'm trying out the brush, and I must say it's very similar. I compared the brush tips to my other one, and yeah, it's just as juicy and very nice, so it's good to have for Inktober. I also have a Pentel ultrafine brush pen, and all of these pens are not water resistant. Moving right along, we have the Marabou Graphics Aqua Ink, or inks. 3 different colors in dark ultramarine, petrol, and Reseda. I'm so sorry this is out of focus. Let's try again. In the description it says, add a pop of color to your ink drawings with Marabou Graphic Aqua inks. These ultra brilliant pigmented watercolor inks are transparent and highly light fast. They can be completely dissolved with water even after drying, making the creative possibilities endless. Up next we have the King Art Original Gold 9000 series Golden Taclon brush, round size 18/0. I don't actually have a synthetic brush like this, so it will be very handy for detailing with the inks provided in this box. Up next, the obligatory Inktober sticker from ArtSnacks, and the calendar with all the prompts for the month of October. 31 prompts which have been revealed, so it's no secret anymore. And it also gives you the hashtags ArtSnacks Inktober. And on the reverse, as usual in the ArtSnacks boxes, you will find the menu, i.e. the listing of all the art supplies and their detailed descriptions. Some of them I have read already, and yeah, also it says at the bottom, ArtSnacks exclusive, new and improved How to Ink class with Jake Parker from the Society of Visual Storytelling. Retail price $30. So this is the contents of the complete box, and I can't say that I'm overwhelmed by now, but let me try out all the tools and inks and we will see. I should speed up everything so it doesn't get too long, as this video is long enough as it is already. And here I'm using the Copic Gaze Fude pen. It's a little bit dry, but on the other hand it's not bleeding, and that's a good thing. The Liquitex Carbon Black ink doesn't bleed either, and it mixes with water to quite a nice warm grey. Now onto the Graphics Aqua ink from Marabou. It's a very bright spring green. It does seem to sink right into the paper though. The Reseda seems to be a little stronger in tone or value, and the ultramarine on the other hand again is quite light. onto the golden Taclon brush, testing it with the Liquitex ink, and I must say it does have a very nice point and seems to hold enormous amounts of liquid for this tiny brush. As you can also see here, it's not the right brush to do this, but I'm attempting to mix the marabou ink on the paper, which is practically impossible because it's sucked right into the paper and dries instantly almost. The last item I can test here is the Posca pen, and I already know it's good. And once again doing a little swatch with the Liquitex ink, and here you can see I've drawn out a butterfly. I am actually revisiting an artwork I did for World Watercolor Month, and while drawing I found that this elastic was quite bulky and getting in the way, and so I had to find a way to position it, and I did manage in the end, even though it's not ideal. On the plus side, the pencil went down very smoothly and I had no problems erasing whatsoever. So while I'm drawing here, let me just address the elephant in the room and the controversy which had arisen between Alfonso Dunn and Jake Parker. At first, since I'm following both of them and been following Alfonso Dunn for a very long time, I took sides, I must admit, and yes, I did draw my conclusions, and I was upset with Jake Parker and with my own purchase of this box, because I spent a lot of money for the art supplies. As I say, the cat in the bag, or the box in this case, and I did rethink my viewpoint to the extent that I will do Inktober, but I will probably do something like Actober, as in aquarelle and act, and do some wildlife sketches that depict species of plants and animals that are close to extinction and need our attention more than any YouTuber, artist or single person. In hindsight, I really wish that Alfonso could have handled everything more professionally, as should I have, and all of us, as a matter of fact. Of course, ArtSnacks has nothing to do with the whole situation, and so I will use the supplies and see how it goes. Now back to the art supplies. Here I'm correcting a mistake I made, and the Posca pen is really wonderful doing its job. The art supplies are all water-based, and so they do have a tendency to leak through the paper, which is why I decided to take an overhead foil that I still have and cut it to size as shield for the next page, because I found that there was some leakage through to the next page, and that would be a shame, wouldn't it? This occurred mainly when I was using the paintbrush, and not so much when I was using my nibs to draw with the ink. unless I made a large puddle. That would definitely go through too. Throughout this process, I noticed that the ink was drying in my little porcelain dishes, and it actually left a little residue. And here we are. I'm showing you a short clip of my dish to prove that there was a tiny little residue, just some crumbs of that black paint. I mainly used my brush to fill the nib with the mixed ink and the other paints. As you can perhaps see, but my software is very slow, or maybe it's my computer, so I'm having a hard time synchronizing the voiceover with the actual picture. By the way, you notice I'm using the sketch ink Carmen in yellow from Rohrer and Klingner to add a different color tone, and I will also use this to paint the leaves and the foliage later. So as you can see, and as I've said before, the ink soaks right into the paper, and you have to layer several times just to get a good coverage, but it still looks quite matte in my view. I did get a good coverage on the body and the head of the butterfly, and I was not happy with the colors because they are very vibrant, but on this paper they kind of seem matte, more than it looks on the video right now. So I decided to layer ink, the yellow ink, all over the page except for the butterfly, to give it a little kick, and it did work to a certain extent, but it left the paper really wavy, and so it was not very nice to look at, I would say. So what I did was, after I was finished, I spritzed the paper, the backside of the paper, very lightly with a mist of water, and put the foil back in, the overhead foil, you remember, and put the sketchbook closed under a big pile of books, and left it there for a couple of days. And yeah, so it turned out quite flat again in the end, I must say, and that's a good thing, so I was happy about that. Also, I tried out the Marabou inks and all the others on a piece of very smooth copy paper, and the inks seemed much more vibrant on that, so I decided to do the same butterfly on a piece of watercolor paper. since we got it in the box, I thought we might as well use it today. And I did do the same subject because that's what I had, and of course I love this butterfly and I love the colors, so yeah, I thought it was the best thing and the best way to compare. So you will see me in a moment doing that. I put washi tape on the watercolor paper to block out a square, and later on it turned out that the washi tape would tear the paper, so I used my heat gun to heat up the washi tape before removing it. And that's one tip that you can always follow, of course, if you remember, like I didn't at first. So I tore the paper, but it's okay, it doesn't really show that much. So to summarize my feelings about this ArtSnacks box is that I am not very happy. I think it was quite an expensive box, especially for me here in Germany. I had to pay $35 or $37 shipping on top of the price. So I feel I could have spent the money on watercolors, and I do have ink already, so I didn't really need any ink supplies to take part in Inktober. And I did it for the sake of it, to be part of the whole Inktober movement, I would say. And of course, as I explained earlier, my attitude towards the Inktober movement was kind of dampened because of the situation I explained. I'm not alone in this, of course. Yeah, so at one point I thought to myself, I should have stuck to watercolor. I could have bought some lovely watercolors for the amount and different watercolor paper that I want to try out. But there you go. I had made the decision, and so I have the box now, and I will use the supplies, of course, but I am underwhelmed with the content. So yeah, that's my summary. I'm sorry, ArtSnacks, it wasn't a more positive review, but I can't help myself. So sorry. Nevertheless, and despite my complete understanding for Alfonso's reaction, I do hope that in future we will be more careful in making judgments. You know, we don't know the exact circumstances, and I would assume that they are both responsible individuals, and so should we be in the end. After all, we are all trying to make something positive of our art journey, and if something is said about someone and they don't have the possibility or opportunity to defend themselves, that is a bad thing, I would say. So let's be good to each other. let's be friends. Why can't we get on? And this is what I would urge everyone. If you're watching this, please be kind. Do as you would be done by. I do hope I'm not coming across as if I was preaching, but those are my thoughts. And the other thing that I do have to say is, here I'm showing the paper. Check out the vibrancy on this paper. Those colors, they are glowing. And so I'm really glad I did the other piece, even though it's not really finished, but it does show the colors off really well, and in comparison the first artwork does look pale still. So I'm leaving you with just a few close-ups, if the camera would focus, of the art supplies and the sketchbook. And it was fun doing this, and I do look forward to another month of challenges, and I hope you do too. And let me know what you think. So thank you so much for watching and staying with me through this long video, and please leave a like if you would, and subscribe to my channel so you can see my next uploads. Do take care and do what you love. Bye for now. Ta-da!